The revolution in big data and sensing is going to be very, very important in using resources more efficient. It allows companies to know what is happening with their inputs and how to maximize efficiency. So not only can GE monitor the efficiency of how well their jet engines are working up in the sky, but everyone who operates fleets of cars and trucks can monitor fuel efficiency and tweaks to optimize that. In the farms around our country, it's becoming possible to monitor how much fertilizer is being wasted and just running off with the rainwater. There are many corporate examples also where companies have figured out there's much more efficient ways to move goods around the country. Getting out of trucks and into rail or even ships is a much more efficient use of energy. Ocean Spray we worked with to help them move their product by rail instead of truck. They reduced greenhouse gas pollution by 60%, saved 40% of their costs of trucking the product. That's a big deal. There should be rewards for efficiency. There should be opportunities in the electric sector for companies that use energy more efficiently and are helping the grid stay in balance to be rewarded for that. And right now, too often, the incentives have been set up just to maximize consumption of electricity as opposed to maximize the efficient use of electricity. There's a variety of barriers. In many of our states, in the United States, electricity is regulated in a way that keeps the market from working, that keeps efficiency from paying back to businesses in the way that it should. For example, the grid needs to be balanced between supply and demand. In some states, you can balance that by not only adding more electrons to the system to meet demand, but you can balance that by paying customers to lower demand. In other states, only additional supply is paid for. So in those areas of our country where people can be rewarded by lowering demand or shifting demand to the nighttime, that encourages efficiency. In other states, there's no such incentive. One of the things they're doing in China is they've started pilot cap-and-trade programs in 1/3 of the Chinese economy. 7 cities and provinces are experimenting with ways to cap and reduce greenhouse gas emissions in preparation for what the Chinese government says will be a national cap-and-trade system. The idea, when you have a limit, a reducing limit on the amount of carbon pollution you can throw in the atmosphere, is you create a big incentive for resource efficiency. It turns out that 40% of the global warming we're going to see in the next 20 years is from short-lived, potent greenhouse gases like methane and black carbon and hydrofluorocarbons. And it turns out that in the oil and gas industry, in order to reduce the emissions of methane, which is 84 times more potent as a greenhouse gas than carbon dioxide, in order to reduce those emissions by 50%, the incremental cost would be less than 1% of the cost of a well. 0.6% according to the International Energy Agency's recent report. Surely this is one very practical initiative to reduce greenhouse gases going into the sky. We need to, with businesses and NGOs and governments, get about the hard business of using resources more efficiently and reducing emissions rather than keeping increasing it.